The online stage presents The Lost World by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, featuring Scott R. McKinley as Edward Malone, Rob Goll as Professor George Challenger, Ted Wenskus as Professor Summerlee, Russell Gold as Sir John Roxton.
Chapter 1. There are heroisms all round us. Mr. Hungerton, her father, really was the most tactless person upon earth. A fluffy, feathery, untidy cockatoo of a man, perfectly good-natured, but absolutely centred upon his own silly self. If anything could have driven me from Gladys, it would have been the thought of such a father-in-law. I am convinced that he really believed in his heart that I came round to the Chestnuts 3 days a week for the pleasure of his company, and very especially to hear his views upon bimetallism, a subject upon which he was by way of being an authority. For an hour or more that evening, I listened to his monotonous chirrup about bad money driving out good, the token value of silver, the depreciation of the rupee, and the true standards of exchange.
"Suppose,"
he cried with feeble violence,
"that all the debts in the world were called up simultaneously, and immediate payment insisted upon. What, under our present conditions, would happen then?"
I gave the self-evident answer that I should be a ruined man, upon which he jumped from his chair, reproved me for my habitual levity, which made it impossible for him to discuss any reasonable subject in my presence, and bounced off out of the room to dress for a Masonic meeting. At last I was alone with Gladys, and the moment of fate had come. All that evening I had felt like the soldier who awaits the signal which will send him on a forlorn hope of victory and fear of repulse alternating in his mind. She sat with that proud, delicate profile of hers, outlined against the red curtain. How beautiful she was, and yet how aloof. We had been friends, quite good friends, but never could I get beyond the same comradeship which I might have established with one of my fellow reporters upon the Gazette. Perfectly frank, perfectly kindly, and perfectly unsexual. My instincts are all against a woman being too frank and at her ease with me. It is no compliment to a man. Where the real sex-feeling begins, timidity and distrust are its companions, heritage from old wicked days, when love and violence went often hand in hand. The bent head, the averted eye, the faltering voice, the wincing figure, these and not the unshrinking gaze and frank reply, are the true signals of passion. Even in my short life, I had learned as much as that, or had inherited it in that race memory which we call instinct. Gladys was full of every womanly quality. Some judged her to be cold and hard, but such a thought was treason. That delicately bronzed skin, almost oriental in its colouring, that raven hair, the large liquid eyes, the full but exquisite lips, all the stigmata of passion were there, but I was sadly conscious that up to now I had never found the secret of drawing it forth. However, come what might, I should have done with suspense, and bring matters to a head tonight. She could but refuse me, and better be a repulsed lover than an accepted brother.